Hi everyone, so this is another session for GitHub Classroom with Bhamek. So let's actually get started. So for setting up your GitHub Classroom, you will be actually needing your GitHub account, obviously, right? So what is GitHub Classroom? GitHub Classroom is nothing but another learning and management system with GitHub, right? That allows you to actually upload your GitHub repositories via students and check the GitHub repositories via the teacher's repository and so on. So let's actually get started. So the first thing you will actually need for the GitHub Classroom is the GitHub organization. So let's actually head to the github.com, right? And then you will actually probably need to go to your account settings options. That is, you will actually click your profile, and here you will actually get the organizations, right? So while actually you click the organizations, you will actually see different organizations which you are a part of. Here I have already created an organization. So you will go ahead to new organization and you will create a new organization, right? So what it will actually ask you. So these are different options, but you will probably go for this free one. That is your create your free organization, right? And then you have to give organization name. Now the thing is that this organization name is global to all the GitHub accounts. So you will actually need to have a new organization name. So let's actually have YouTube 1 2 3 4, and let's say if it's actually available or not. It will tell me yes, this is available, right? So this is YouTube 1 2 3 4, something like that. Now you also need to give your contact email, which is connected to your GitHub organization, and then this organization belongs to your personal account, that is with which it is actually going to connect this particular organization, or whether a business or institution. If you are actually a corporate employee or something like that, you have some business, then you will just simply just solve this particular captcha, right? It's actually just another type of captcha which nowadays they are giving up, right? And then just submit and it's done, I believe. And then GitHub business in the GitHub Copilot business, and I don't think we need it, right? Well, basically you can just tick or not, whether it depends on you whether you need the GitHub Copilot or not. Well, it will actually charge you, right? So let's actually get back. Okay, sorry for the username and the organization member. Okay, so what it is now asking is that it's actually wanting you to connect different members which are actually the managers of this particular organization, or say who have all the rights. So for a teacher purpose, right, you might need to actually include other teacher members which are related to your class, so that they can also check your assignments, right? So you can also do this later on, so you can just skip this step and I will also let you know how to do that. So this is your GitHub organization, right? YouTube 1 2 3 4, right? So you can actually switch to this particular account, right? Okay, so okay, GitHub business. Okay, this is because we already have just clicked that particular GitHub Copilot business, and that's why it's asking you the particular account information, right? But we don't need it, so we can actually remove it, right? Okay. Mm, um, Nothing, right? Okay, so we don't need it. So we already have our GitHub organization. We can check out our organizations, yeah, right? It's actually just a finding for your billing. So this is your organization, right? And yeah, you are actually part of this particular organization, right? Now you need to actually search for GitHub Classroom, right? GitHub Classroom. So what happens is that it will actually come on the first link. So the thing is that the GitHub Classroom is run by the GitHub organization which you have created there. So there's a bad thing that you have to make the organization first on the github.com, and then you have to go ahead to GitHub Classroom to connect the particular organization with the particular classroom, right? So you can actually go ahead with this particular sign in option, right? And it will actually ask you, okay, so you don't have any classroom set. So firstly you will actually go for create your organization, and then it will show you different organizations you have. So you have this particular organization which you just created, so you will just select this particular organization, right? And then this will actually give you a particular classroom. So it's already giving you a default classroom name, which you can just remove, say YouTube 1 2 3 4 classroom, something like that we can create, right? And create classroom, that's it, your classroom is actually created. So now it's actually asking you to invite your TAs, right, teaching assistant, who will actually check the GitHub assignments, right? So who are the members of this particular organization or classroom which will check the particular assignments and which have authoritative control over the students. So this is that particular step, right? So you can skip this particular step, or you can actually assign them now. So firstly you will actually need to invite your TAs. I will actually give you one particular example how you can do that. So these are the members on which only I am the member for now, right? So I can actually invite more members, right? So how can I invite? I can actually just invite members from this particular green button, right? Invite member. And here you will search their GitHub handles, or you can search by email IDs. For example, I have another email ID. Say, okay, this one. Right, this one I have another email ID, so I will actually go ahead and invite. Right, so okay, so verify with email. Okay, so it's actually again asking me to sign in, right? Sign in, whatever the code is that. So let's actually just pause for a second. So the thing is that that invite was two-step verified, because the thing is that I've actually enabled the two-step verification, but if you have not, then it won't show you this particular authentication, and the authentication token will come on your email ID, right? That's it. So basically you have invited a particular member, and if you actually go for your organizations, right, you can actually go for the people option, and you will be able to see what are the options are there. I think I have actually invited, not invited. Okay, let me just refresh, right? Okay, so the invitation has not been sent. If you actually go for that particular one again, okay, that was not signed in, right? Yeah. Okay, so I'm actually inviting that particular member. Okay, so you have two particular options. One is a member, and another is actually the owner. Owner has all the authoritative rights which you have, but if you want to actually invite the TAs, right, then I will actually suggest you to invite them as member, because they will have access to all the repository of the student, so they can also see the repository of the student and check them and all. So you will actually go for the send invitation button. And yes, this member has been invited already, right? So if I actually go ahead and look for the email that I have actually invited onto, right? So this one is that, and I will actually go ahead for the email. I must be actually getting one particular email there, right? So yeah, here I have actually been invited. I will actually go for join this particular organization, right? So it will actually get me to this particular option. Yes, I have actually joined this particular organization, right? So I can actually create new repositories under this organization, and then they will be visible to the other owner also. So if I actually go for the people option now, I see that we have two particular members. This one is actually the owner, and this is the member. This will you will actually keep as TA, and this you will actually keep as a teacher, as yourself, right? So these are two particular options, right? So this till yet we have actually just done this. Now what we can do is that in our particular classroom, right? I can actually now hit on the particular continue button, right? And yes, now you need to define your students, right? Who are your students, right? So one option is that if you already are managing the Google Classroom, then you can actually just import the student names from the Google Classroom itself by clicking on it. But I won't suggest you that particular option, because if you are not using any Google Classroom till yet, then you will first need to create a Google Classroom and then need to connect to this particular GitHub Classroom, which is very not feasible. So what I will suggest you is actually give the student name. For example, I have student 1, right, and then I might have another student name 2, and so on, right? Student name 3, something like that. Let me actually add 3 particular student names. Yeah, just the name identifier, or you might also keep your roll number, right? So now you have actually just added 3 students, right, which are not connected to any of the GitHub account. Just keep in mind, you have just created the student identifiers, but they are not connected to any GitHub account because you have not specified them. Also, you can't specify them, right, before creating an assignment. So how to actually connect them? First thing, you will actually create a particular assignment, a sample assignment, I must say, you must create, right? So you must say joining assignment, something like that. Just a sample assignment you are actually gonna create. And that's actually an individual assignment, means each student need to do, or you have also option of group assignment, whether the student need to perform in groups. And this is the deadline which I'm not keeping for now. Continue, it will ask for a startup code, right? For example, you might also need to assign the starter code to your students that they will need to use, and that they will need to perform the assignment. And the public repository is very vulnerable to all of the world, and all of the everyone on the world can actually be able to access your repository. So I will suggest you to hit private. This will allow you and your students to see the repository, but not all the world, right? And this is just the editor, which editors would you want your students to use and be shown as a default option. So Visual Studio Code will be actually shown, right? Or you have another option like make code. So you will hit head on continue, right? And then gradient feedbacks. This is auto grader, which I will actually make you set up at a later point of time. And then you will hit create assignment. So now your assignment is ready, right? And this is the particular link which your students need to click, right? Right, this is particular assignment, and you will hit on copy and write link, or that particular link which was visible just a moment before. So it is copied. Now how to join? You will share this particular link with your students, right? You will share this particular link, copy link, to the students so that they can join. So let me hit ahead on another Google account. So let me hit here only, right? And I will actually just search for this particular say link, assignment link, right? So it is actually just searching which is the particular assignment, right? So now I am actually joining as a student. That link has been sent by my teacher on the WhatsApp group to all the students, and I'm one of the students now, right? So it's actually asking that which student you are, how would you actually like to join in the classroom. So if I know that I am the student one, right, I am the student one, then I will click on the student one, and I will join this particular assignment and accept this accept this particular assignment as student one. Now you will see a magic. Okay, so I've actually joined this particular student assignment, and this is the repository created for me, right? So if I should just click this particular repository, right, then you will see that in this particular organization, a repository has been created with the name of a joining assignment that was kept by the teacher, but hyphen with my name. This is my name. This is my GitHub handle, right? So this is appended so that my unique repository can be created, right? And in this particular repository, the teacher has not kept any material, so I'm not shown any material, and that's why I've joined with a empty repository, right? Now if you go ahead to that particular teacher account, right, then in the students, earlier you were seeing 3 students. Now one has been joined and also linked with the GitHub account. That's the thing, right? That has already been linked to the GitHub account. How it has linked? Because the student has actually joined, and on joining he has selected student one. So that's why in the teacher's account he is actually shown to be linked with that particular GitHub account. The teacher has the power to unlink this particular GitHub account and link another GitHub account, right? For example, the student has done mistake and he was not student one, he was student two. So what a teacher will do, it will unlink this particular GitHub account, and it will go to this particular student 2 link, and there he will be able to see the GitHub handle, and then he will be able to link to this particular student. That student 2 or the roll number 2 was for this particular GJVK. So this is how the assignment is, or say the particular account is connected to GitHub account. So this is particular assignment, right? If you will go to assignments and able to see, so only one student has joined. As you know already, I have actually just joined with one particular email ID, right? So only one student has actually joined this particular assignment, right? And he has not submitted. How to submit this particular assignment, right? For example, say in my student account, right, this is my repository. I actually solve this particular problem, right? Whatever the teacher has asked, right, he might ask by writing the question in this readme. So I can actually create a particular file or edit a particular file. You must use GitHub like push and pull to do this, but I'm actually just doing it for now with the UI. Right. For example, the solution is dash dash dash. This is the solutions done by the particular student, right? This is the name of your file, right? Like say solution dot say txt, and then you actually just go for the command. Here usually you will have the code solution, right? And here you might have the file name like solution.py. Then you actually go for the commit changes, right? And okay, so this is actually a sample statement with what you are committing, what you will tell your teacher that what you have done in this particular file. So I can say, okay, in the initial solution placeholder, I can say the solution, right? The solution to check, something like that. An extended description can be anything, and you will actually commit to the main branch, right? Because the main branch will be the default branch which your teacher will be able to see. So now earlier it was showing not submitted. Now if you actually just select this refresh, and it will be submitted, right? Okay, because the student has submitted. Now if I actually want to see the particular assignment, right, now I will actually click on this particular repository, right? Okay, so this is the particular repository, and I will be able to see this particular solution.txt, and this is the solution of the student which the student has done, right? Okay, so this is the thing, right? This is how the system actually works on GitHub, right? Okay, so this is a wholesome framework, and if you are actually just want to see that whether this assignment is able to be viewed by another student, right? So then let's actually have a look. I will actually go ahead with the new email ID, right? Okay, so this one, guest, and if I want to just see this particular assignment, right? So it is 404 because it's not viewable to you, so it's totally secure between you and your students, and you all can manage that particular thing. But one more thing is that I've added another member that was actually the TA. Okay, so the TA was this particular account, I believe, right? So let's see if I am actually able to view. Okay, so it's also showing the particular 404 here because the other teacher is actually, other member is actually assigned as say other member is actually assigned as a member of this particular organization, but he has not been given the power of the honor, right? So that's why he's actually not able to see, but you and your student are already able to see the repositories. There are further steps which you need to set up in the particular another TA account to actually give him all the rights to the particular class, right? So this is how you will actually manage the things up, right? And also the thing is that for inviting the TAs, yeah, you will actually need to them to actually join the GitHub Classroom. Just let me show you how to do it, right? So I will actually go for the GitHub Classroom, right? And yes, this is the particular GitHub Classroom, right? And then actually I sign in, right? Okay, so this is actually okay. So this is actually the portal where you have actually been be able to your own GitHub Classrooms, right? So if I actually go for this one, right? Organization members, right? This is actually the joining code, right? Okay, okay. Mm-hmm. So if I actually go for this one, mm-hmm. Okay, I will actually make you set up the particular TAs and how they can actually also check your GitHub Classroom with this one, because there was a single link which you were able to see, right? That you need to share with your, that you actually need to share with your particular thing, right? Particular TAs, which so that they can actually invite, they can also be connected to the particular organization, right? So yeah, this is the basic setup, right? How you actually set up your GitHub Classroom, and how you actually assign assignments, how the teachers actually connect with the students for the assignments, how the repositories are created, how the repository is secure with outside world by using a private mode, and this is the basic setup of GitHub Classroom. Later we will be able to see how to set up your auto graders, which make your life a lot more simpler. By adding auto graders, they will check your assignments automatically by testing the solutions via through a lot of test cases, and that's all we are gonna cover in the later videos. Thank you so much, guys.